Well, I have to say that, like Jane, I had mixed feelings about getting nominated for an award, but everybody told me that people from East Tennessee didn't stand a chance. I said, well, and I couldn't turn Walter down because he and I worked together for so long at the Southern Empowerment Project, training community organizers. So, but I'm here to accept it tonight, along with the hundreds of community organizers that we trained, the members and leaders in community organizations around this region that were member groups of the Southern Empowerment Project, and also on behalf of all the workers that I've had the privilege and the honor to work with over the years in organizing and education campaigns with a variety of unions. My father I grew up in a little town in North Carolina called Valdez, and my father worked at a large bakery there. And he got sent home from work twice during his working career there. Once, supposedly, and that was home, he sent home without pay. Once because he was supposedly talking pro-union at a gas station in town. And the other time was because he said something about his boss and somebody tape recorded it. That's the kind of fear that happens in small southern towns that are, it's similar to the plantation. The companies rule by fear, even if it's their own neighbors and friends who are working for them. And so I made up my mind then that I wanted to be an organizer. I wanted to go to work for the Bakery, Confectionery, and Tobacco Workers Union. That time it was only the bakery workers. But so over the years, I've had the privilege to work with women coal miners, auto workers, sheet metal workers, bakery workers, just all kinds of workers. My grandparents were immigrants. They came to the United States from Italy in 1904. My grandmother didn't get her citizenship until she was 55 years old. And so I also identify strongly with the struggles of immigrant workers, and I've had the privilege to work with them and with their organizations. And one of those groups is here in Nashville, Workers' Dignity. They're one of the best worker centers in the country. And I'm glad to see that two of their people are getting an award tonight. I guess one of the other things I wanted to say is that we need to know our history in the South a little bit better. When the news of the loss of the election at the Volkswagen plant in Chattanooga came in, all of us were heartbroken, but we need to remind ourselves that it was a very close vote. It would only take 45 more yeses to have turned that tide. And I'm sure that the workers in that plant who are not afraid and who want to fight for their dignity and respect and to have a voice in the workplace will come back and they will have another election. And, a lot of us were very hopeful because we feel like winning that election in that plant will help the whole state of Tennessee, maybe the whole South, maybe the whole country, to show that workers have more of a chance when the company doesn't interfere in the election process for union elections. I read a lot of the blogs, some of the blogs and comments after that election. A lot of them were from people from the North who were very disparaging about Southern politicians. That's fine. I'm very disparaging about Bill Haslam and Bob Corker, who have absolutely no business commenting about what workers in an auto plant decide. Neither one of them has ever worked in an auto plant. But some of those comments were also disparaging about Southern workers. And that's not right. There's a long, proud history of union organizing here in the South, started by the United Mine Workers. The first sit-down strike in the auto industry in this country was in Atlanta, Georgia, at a GM plant. That was before Flint. And there have been other struggles like that. There was the 1934 textile workers strike that happened here in South Carolina and Georgia and Tennessee. So we have a proud history of organizing, and we need to remember that. I think that no people ever organized a union just because of wages. They organized unions because of dignity and respect and treatment on the job. And so we have to stand shoulder to shoulder with those people and help them get over the fear and realize that they too deserve a voice in the workplace. And let me just quickly mention 2 campaigns that I've been involved on in Tennessee, and then I'll end because it's getting hot here. But anyway, it's already hot. I've been involved with a campaign here in Tennessee that was started by 2 community groups in Knoxville, Interfaith Worker Justice and Jobs with Justice, when 2 workers were killed on the Henley Street Bridge construction project. And so they started organizing and lifting up the issues of safety for the workers who worked for Britain Bridge, and also Mountain States and Jones Brothers Construction, who've gotten millions of dollars, our tax dollars, to build bridges and roads and other projects in the state of Tennessee. And so they reached out to the iron workers and also to the laborers union. So that has been a really interesting and exciting campaign to be involved in, because it's both the community and labor unions working together. The other campaign I've been involved in is in Memphis. And the Kellogg Company, over 6 months ago, decided to lock out the 226 workers who work at their Memphis plant. The day they did that lockout, those workers no longer had health insurance. They no longer had any wages. They were able to get unemployment. Some of them were able to get food stamps. No health insurance. And the company now, in spite of 2 rulings by the National Labor Relations Board, which have been long in coming. One is the complaints filed by the union about the company's unwillingness to bargain in good faith. The other is what's called a 10J injunction that says that the company was wrong and they should make those workers whole for everything that they've lost as a part of this as a part of being locked out for 6 months. The Labor Board has ruled those 2 rulings, and it took a long time for them to do it. But now the company still refuses to abide by the law. It's an injustice that really breaks your heart, because some of these people are 2 or 3 generations working for the Kellogg Company. They work 10 and 12 hours a day, 28 days a month. They make good money, but their life has been that company. So we've got to, put more pressure on this company to do the right thing and let these people go back to work. The last thing I want to say is that, there is no progress or there's no justice without struggle. And so, we'll never, however long we live, there'll always be struggles that we'll have to be involved in. And it's heartening to me to see the younger organizers like Julio and Brenda and Tristan and Beth Usselton and Garrett Stark. You have a good collection of them here in Nashville who are rolling up their sleeves and who are already fighting for justice. Thank you.